Okay, let's see how we configured our various systems to support the Windows MFA for Privilege Elevation demo. Now, the logic behind my configuration is that in order to run Centrify Audit Analyzer and to see the session recordings within it, we need to grant two levels of privilege. One is within Audit Analyzer itself. We want to say that our test user, Win MFA Test, can look at sessions if he or she is a member of a specific AD security group. Now, our test user is not a member of this group, so I've configured Centrify Server Suite to allow the user to elevate with that group's permissions. Finally, the MFA part, we've configured CSS, the Centrify Server Suite, to ask for a second factor when elevating privilege on Audit Analyzer. And we've configured the privilege service to provide those second factors and to validate the one that's selected by the user. So let's begin that then with the Audit Manager. In Audit Manager, you see we have a role set. The only member of this role is the AD Security Group Audit Analyzer Viewers. And again, for demonstration, this role grants full access. Now, in Active Directory Users and Computers, I've created that security group. There it is, Audit Analyzer Viewers. And again, there's no membership at this time. Centrify Server Suite will make our test user a member only at the time we elevate privilege to run the Audit Analyzer application. My test user is called Win MFA Test. This is just a standard domain user. But note that for MFA, I've specified an email address and some phone numbers so that the service has something to pick from. Now, over in Centrify Access Manager, I've created an elevation role that Win MFA Test is a member of. Let's look first at the Windows right. It's specific to the Centrify Audit Analyzer application, as you can see. The Run As tab says to run as self with the added privileges of the Audit Analyzer Viewers group that we just saw in Active Directory. Note the checkbox below to re-authenticate the user with a second factor. This is the new capability that enables MFA on elevation. Now, over to the role definitions. We have Audit Analyzer MFA Elevation Win. This has the right that we just saw assigned to it. Finally, a role is of no use unless you assign it to somebody, so in the role assignment section, we see our role assigned to our test user, Win MFA Test. So we're all done now at the Centrify Server Suite and the AD level. Let's turn to the cloud. So up here in the privilege service, what we need to do is configure a few things. So first we'll be in the Cloud Manager, logged in as the Cloud Administrator. Let's go over to Settings. In the Authentication section, and then the subsection Server Suite Authentication, we've enabled Privilege Elevation by specifying an authentication profile called MFA Win for Elevation. Now, up in the Authentication Profile section, if I open up that profile, you'll see the various MFA challenges that I've enabled for this user. Now, over in the Roles tab, I enabled Server Login and Privilege Elevation as a right, and I've assigned it to the server on which the elevation will take place, in this case, my member server. So that's it. All we have to do now is pop over to the Privilege Manager, navigate to the Resources tab, right-click on our member server, and log in with the AD domain account Win MFA Test. Now that we're logged in, I should be able to double-click on Audit Analyzer to show that I have no permissions to run this normally. And now I should be able to right-click and run with privilege, and it should allow me access to the Audit Analyzer sessions. As you can see, I'm being prompted for my second factor. I'll just pick the security question for brevity and enter my passphrase. And I'm given access to the Audit Analyzer sessions. So there we have it.